Okay, welcome everybody to the Energy Aggregation Public Forum. I'm going to just open the public forum and introduce Denise Allard and Mark Capadona.
Capadona, that is
Yes,
correct.
welcome and thank you. They're from Colonial Power Group, and they are going to be here to answer any questions you have about the energy aggregation program. And I'm going to let them do a brief overview and just take control of the meeting, and hopefully we'll get everybody's questions answered tonight.
Good evening, Mark Capadona, Colonial Power. Very happy to be here. The one thing I want everyone to get from this presentation tonight is the town is truly bringing you a choice. This program is all about choice and choices you haven't had in the marketplace in the past. So I'm here to talk to you tonight about one of two mailings. So you either got this mailing, which is an opt-out notice, or you received this because you're on third-party supply. You're getting your electrons from someone other than National Grid. I'm going to come back to this postcard in a short bit. I'm going to talk only because most of the mail that went out as an opt-out notice. Inside this opt-out notice, we're here to talk about your electricity bill and the supply portion of that bill, and how what the town has done to benefit you. Whether or not you decide to participate is completely up to you. You're going to get the hot button item out of the way right away. This is a municipal aggregation program, and it's an opt-out aggregation program. Meaning, if you got this envelope, if you do nothing, you'll be automatically switched to the town's program. What does that mean? That means you create some savings. The town's plan is for 35 months. The rate is 14.1 compared to basic service at 15.4. So if you didn't want to be in and you were away on vacation or whatever, make no mistake, this plan was set up with all the consumer protections, meaning you can opt out of the program and opt back into the program without fee or penalty. Same thing with basic service. You can go back and forth without penalty at any time. You can only do it on your meter read, but you have full flexibility and you get to decide. Inside this opt-out notice, trying to make this as easy as possible, this legal size paper explains the whole program, just shows you what the rate is, what the term is compared to basic service, talks about solar and all of those issues, which I'm going to hit right now. If by chance this program, the way it's set up, it's the supply portion of your bill, and it's the electron running through the wire. Otherwise, all your interactions are going to be the same. You're still going to receive a single bill from National Grid. You're still going to, if you use Mass Save, you have budget billing, you have automatic withdrawal, you have a low-income customer discount. All of those programs, any of your solar plans that you might have with any of the solar providers, they all work seamlessly. All of those programs are National Grid programs. National Grid is still your distribution company. You're still going to get a single bill with one line item change under the generation services, and that's going to say Dynegy Manchester by the Sea Ag. That is going to tell you that you're in the program. If you see that change from basic service to the Manchester aggregation Dynegy is the supplier. They're the ones supplying the electron. Again, you don't need to change anything to participate, but that's the only change you're going to see on your bill. Otherwise, all you're going to need to do is sit back and enjoy the savings. Warning, our rate will not change. The town's rate will not change. 35 months, unless there's a change in law, meaning they change some requirement along with electricity. Everyone, third-party supply, municipal aggregation, basic service will all change as well, but you won't need to do anything other than pay attention, meaning this rate 14.1 will always stay the same. Basic service changes twice a year, once in August and again in February. So in February, we don't know what the rate will be, but you're going to want to check. So if you ever want to look, again, full transparency here. The town is doing nothing more than bringing you options. So if you go to Colonial Power Group on the right-hand side, you can always click on basic service rates. It'll bring you to the latest basic service rate that's there. I want to hit on the other options that we're speaking about now. So the town has taken the time, and that 14.1 is a basic service product. Everyone would automatically be put in that product. Meaning what they try to do is be as economical as possible. So it's the lowest possible price. More good news. If by chance you want to support local renewables, the town has given you two other choices. One is a 10% more optional green, and they call it a Mass Class 1. What is a Mass Class 1? That's a renewable energy project that was built after 1997 and qualified here in Massachusetts. 10% more of your, how do I want to say this? They'll buy more renewable energy certificates to cover your electricity. More good news. Say you really want to go, and I'm talking the Cadillac of, I'm probably aging myself there, but the Cadillac of supply options, there's 100% Mass Class 1 product that gets a little bit pricey. That's at 16.7. But if you were someone that really wanted to support local renewables, this product is for you. You can't get a better product than this in the marketplace. It's 100% covered by renewable energy certificates, all in from Massachusetts. I'm going to go back here to, because I wanted to make sure that everyone sees what the town has tried to do here. As far as ease goes, inside that opt-out notice is an envelope. And that envelope comes with a card. You sign that card, stick it in here. You don't even need a stamp, it's already paid for. Put it in it, and you're opted out of the program. They're trying to make this as easy as possible. No one is trying to hold you in this program. This is not third-party supply. I want you to know, if let's just say, I don't want to try the program. Sign this, send it back to us. You won't even be enrolled as long as we get it back by, I think it was November 18th. So as long as we, no problem. Let's just say 3 months later, you say, geez, I shouldn't have opted out. A simple phone call to us, you go online and you can opt right back into this program. There's no fee or penalty. Let's say the opposite happens, right? Let's just say you stayed in the program and for some reason peace came over the planet and there's no more war and National Grid's basic service price is 10 cents. You're going to opt out of the program. You'll opt out of the program. You could sign this and send it back, or you can just go right online and opt out of the program. Again, the town is not taking any title to power. There's no financial risk here. What they're trying to do is protect the resident. I know everyone here in Manchester absolutely remembers 4 winters ago, prices went to 33 cents a kilowatt hour. If that, let's just say war was to break out and prices went right back to 33 cents, no one in Manchester needs to pay more than the 14.1 cents. That rate is always going to be here for the residential and small commercial customer. Make no mistake, that's a huge protection. I happen to live in Massachusetts. In one of the town I live in, it's actually a city of Marlborough. We had an aggregation at the time. In the city of Marlborough, when National Grid had 33-cent rates, we paid 9.3 because they set the electricity hedge. So what the town has done is gone out and purchased electricity futures on your behalf. Whether you participate or not is up to you. The choice is yours. But they now are putting that in the marketplace so that you get to make that choice. Know this though, you decide not to participate. No problem, that's fine. But should things go awry like they have in the past, know that there's a safe landing for you because of what the city or the town has done here. It's very important.
Tony, our town administrator, Tony has his hand up. Go
Please.
ahead.
Thank you, Mark. I just wanted to add to one of the things you said there for the residents to know. We've committed that we will publicly post through social media, through our website, an update to National Grid's basic price those 2 times a year, February and August. So the residents don't have to remember to double check what the basic service price is. We will put something out at those times that tells you, hey, the default option that you were enrolled in is still cheaper than National Grid's basic service, or National Grid's basic service is cheaper, and give people information about that. So even one better, just to add to what you said, is we will keep track of that and let people know those 2 times a year if for some reason what is true today, that the default rate is cheaper than National Grid's basic service. If that for some reason changes, we will be notifying the public through social media and our website.
Thank you. Big help. Next, I wanted to talk about if you receive this postcard. If you receive this postcard, National Grid has told us that you're receiving your power through a third-party supplier, Constellation, Direct Energy, one of those third-party suppliers. Does that mean that you cannot participate in the program? No, but we're not allowed to move you to the town program because we'd be slamming you. But if you receive this postcard on your bill, by law, it has to have a 1-800 number, whoever that third-party supplier is. All I ask you to do is say to them, hey, listen, is there any fee or penalty to leave the program? If there is not, again, this is all about choice. So you say to the supplier, hey, listen, I have an offer for my town's aggregation. I'd like to find out if you can meet or beat the 14.1. If they can meet or beat that 14.1 cents, stay with the supplier. No problem. That's not a problem. If they can't, know that you can opt out as long as there's no fee or penalty to do so and get right back in the program. I just want you to know all you need to do is you don't need to get in an argument with them. If you enroll in the program through the website, colonialpowergroup.com, it will automatically drop you from their program. So National Grid is kind of the keeper of records. You enroll in this program, we send in a transaction to enroll, they automatically send in a transaction to drop from your third-party supplier, just so that you don't have to get in any kind of conflict with the supplier. So one more time, I just want to make sure that everyone understands, lots of choices here now, and they're good choices. The reason I'm saying that is you have a 14.1 cents to go up against. If they can beat that, wonderful. Now you're using the market to your advantage. If they can't beat it and for some reason you don't want to stay with them, know that you can either go to basic service or the town's aggregation program. Again, if you receive the postcard, you will not be enrolled. You need to do something, opt into this program. I wanted to make sure that I made this point. There are 3 products for the town. Everyone would be put into the standard program. If you decided that you wanted to support decarbonization, local renewables, there are 2 other choices that the town has. So at this point, and to get in those programs, you need to go on our website or call us or call a supplier and opt up to those programs. You don't automatically get put there. So there's an action required if you want those higher renewable products. Thank you very much, Denise. I also wanted to mention in detail, because lots of people have solar on their roofs. If you have solar, it's going to work identically to the way it works now. Your bill will come. The only difference with the program is National Grid cannot make a profit on solar. So when you're putting electrons onto the grid, they're always going to pay you the basic service price. Well, we create a little bit of a conflict here. So in today's scenario, if you generate any extra electricity, they're going to pay you $15.4. When you're using electricity, drawing from the grid, you'd only be paying $14.1. So extra bonus for you that have solar. But it's not a perfect world, right? So the knife cuts both ways. He's come across the planet again, and the rate went down to 10. When you're putting electrons onto the grid, you're going to get 10 cents on your bill. When you're using them, you're going to be getting 14 cents. It's not different. I just want you to know it's a little bit like it's on steroids because how solar works. Other than that, though, all of your billing and so forth will be identical. I'm saying to you, if you already have a credit on there, it's going to just roll forward. That contract that you have is with the utility and your solar developer. This program works mutually exclusive, and for thousands of customers. I just want you to know, right now there's about 215, 218 aggregations up and running in the state. Thousands of customers across the state are in aggregation programs using solar. So make no mistake, that doesn't, I want to make sure I'm clear here. That doesn't mean you won't have billing problems, because I'm certain many of you do that have net metering arrangements as well as solar on your roof. but those issues get brought to National Grid. One other thing that I think is important, and it's going on, and it is for real right now. If by chance you went through Mass Save and you got an air source heat pump, there's a new rate. So that also is going to work seamlessly with this because it's a utility benefit. So that's on the T&D side. Two parts of your bill: supply, and then down below is the supply, and up top is transmission and distribution. All of those discounts are coming on the T&D side of your bill, the National Grid monopoly. I just want you to know you don't need to do anything, is what they're telling you. If you went through Mass Save from 2019 forward, they're going to automatically put you in at those lower rates. If by chance you didn't qualify, you didn't go through Mass Save, or you qualified prior to that, you should really reach out to National Grid to make sure you get those lower rates. They are substantially lower for the months of December, January, February, and I believe into your meter reading into March. It's supposed to start with your November to December, so when you're receiving the bill, you wouldn't see it on your November bill, but you'll see it on your December, your January, your February, and your March bills. And it's all legal. It's all that's a DPU directive, and this comes out of last winter. Very cold, sustained, lots of air source heat pumps running for a long time, very expensive. They're trying to address that. You're doing what the state has asked: decarbonization. We're going to electric, and it just became extremely expensive. So people weren't signing up at the same rate. So at this time, I've done all the talking, and I'm just here to answer any of your electricity questions around, your billing, this program for certain. Just let me know what people have. More than willing to answer any questions you may have.
If you have any questions, put your hand up online, and we would be happy to answer. Stephanie Rogers, or I'm sorry, Sandy Rogers. Go ahead, Sandy.
Okay, hi there. Can you hear me?
Excellent. Yes.
Okay, great. Question, other than this first phase where, we can send in the postcard and opt in, opt out, excuse me. You said we can go back and forth at any time.
Yes.
Is there clear instructions as to who you're supposed to contact and how quickly would that change take place?
This is an excellent question. So I just want you to know this is not third-party supply, so no one's going to try to hold you out of the program. So the easiest, most efficient way, so you don't have to, you can go right on colonialpowergroup.com, and you go to our communities, you choose Manchester by the Sea, and there's a bright orange button that says opt in, opt out. You can go there and you can opt out. When I said you can opt in and opt out, at any time, that's a misspeak by Mark. I want to get specific. Because we all have dumb meters today, meaning they take a reading at the beginning of the month and they take a reading at the end of the month. They don't know what you do in between. So we can only opt you in and out on your meter read. But you can do it as many times as you like. So most people wouldn't do it, but twice a year, meaning, okay, the basic service rate is 15. I'm not gonna opt out. For whatever reason, the rate went down to 10. I'm gonna opt out. The rate goes back up to 15. I'm gonna opt back in. Those are when the two rates change. But I want you to know you could do it every other month if you wanted to. Simply go online and opt in and opt out. If you ever have a problem, you're going to call Colonial Power Group at the 866-485-5858 extension 1 number, and we're going to make sure that any of your concerns are addressed. You have an advocate on your side to make sure that we're going to hold the supplier feet to the fire. So you're not out there on some third-party supply contract trying to navigate the waters. If by chance, and it happens, it's all utility data. So make no mistake, there are problems, but we're going to make sure we get them rectified right away.
So what you're saying is you can do it up to every other month, but everything depends on your rates being measured at the beginning of the month and the end of the month. I really didn't understand what you were saying.
Okay.
If you could clarify that a little more.
Okay, 100%. So and I apologize for the confusion. Today, with the current meters, all they do is read your meter at the beginning of the month and the end of the month. They say you use this many kilowatts. So the only time that they can't opt you out of the program in the middle of your meter read, because they don't know how many kilowatts you've used. So if you opt out in the middle of the month, on your next meter read, you're going to be opted out of the program. You will not, I repeat, you will not see anything but a message on the top of the bill. I'm just going to assume you're going back to basic service. You're being switched back to basic service. That bill will still, on you originally opt out, will still be the town aggregation rate and term. The following month, because we use electricity then pay for it, on your next meter read, and when the bill comes, you're going to see that you're on basic service because you would have been removed on, when you asked to be removed on the meter read, and then you'll see it on your next month bill. Is that any clearer? And that's why I'm saying to you.
I think so. I think so. Thank
Okay.
you.
So in short, you can opt in or opt out once a month, depending on when your meter read is in relation to when you opt in or opt out. It'll happen on your next available meter read, whether that's a week away or 2 weeks away or 3 weeks away, but it'll happen on your next meter read, or should.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Susan Harrington has her hand up.
Yes, thank you. I've leased solar panels and have since 2013. Now, when I go with Colonial, do I have to notify a National Grid or the solar company that I'm going with you people?
You do not. You're still going to be leasing your panels.
Okay.
Whenever you're going to be using electricity, you'll be on the town's rate. I'm assuming that you received this opt-out notice here.
Correct.
Ms. Harrington?
Correct.
So you'll automatically be switched, and whenever you're using power, you'll absolutely get the town's rate. Whenever you're producing power, you're going to get National Grid's basic service rate. It will work
Okay.
the exact same way. You don't need to.
And I'll still get a confirmation each month of how much how much energy I'm creating from National Grid.
That's a correct statement. Yes, you will. Any credits you may currently have, you'll continue to see those on your bills until you've used them.
Beautiful. Sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anybody else have a question that they'd like to ask tonight?
I'll just jump in here quickly and just reemphasize that, our approach as a community was that the, default plan that residents would opt into would produce cost savings for them. And Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, the default plan that produces cost savings for them is equally as renewable as National Grid's basic service.
Correct.
So it's just as renewable as what you're getting from National Grid today, but cheaper. And then we kept in mind that there may be residents out there that want to support local renewables, and gave them two separate options that come at higher price compared to the default option. That would take an action by the resident if they want to do that, but we felt it was best to have the default option be the cheapest and equal renewable as to what they're receiving today from National Grid. But you have those two other options if you wanted to support more local renewables. You have those two options, and the mailer that you got explains how you can take advantage of them.
I do have one more question.
Go ahead.
So I'm not saying this for fact. It was a rumor that I had heard when we were first speaking about moving over to this kind of plan, that if the majority of the town moves to this plan, that it may have an impact on National Grid rates, because National Grid in the area would be supporting a smaller amount potentially of residents. And I'm not really sure about that. I don't know if anyone can speak to that.
I most certainly can. It's a great question, Ms. Rogers, by the way. So on this part of the bill, since 1997, National Grid had to sell off all of their generation. They no longer make any profit on the supply portion of their bill. All of their revenue comes from the transmission and distribution costs. They have no idea which customers are on third-party supply, who's on basic service. So let's just say the power went out. They wouldn't know if you were on third-party supply, basic service, or a municipal aggregation. They're coming out because their job is the poles and wires to kind of rehang the grid, if you will, to get the power back on. This has no effect. Customers leaving for municipal aggregation, third-party supply, has no effect on the bottom line for National Grid. By law, they're not allowed to make any money on the procurement of basic service. They're just able to cover their costs. By the way, I just want you to know, National Grid and all the utilities, they support these programs. You're able to do some things in the marketplace that the basic service can't do. So I just want you to know the town has said, hey, listen, I'm going to lock in prices for the next 35 months. Let's just say that National Grid saw that the rates were going to come down in December. And I'm saying down huge. They just run their process. They're not going to change anything. They're going to do what they always do. They buy 50% of their needs for 12 months. And then the next 6 months, they buy 50% of their needs. And those two overlapping 6 months creates basic service. But they do not say, hey, this is a great time to buy. I'm going to buy and hold that price for 2 years or whatever that is. It's just them performing what the Department of Public Utilities requires them to perform. I just want you to know this program will have no effect, zero effect on their bottom line. None.
Okay, we have a question in the room.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Al Setner. So a minute ago, you mentioned dumb meters and the fact that you can only read beginning of month, end of month.
Yes.
My understanding, or I have seen some literature that National Grid is switching over to smart meters eventually. I don't know when that's going to happen. Can you give us any more information on that? And will that affect this program's, the question that the resident asked a few minutes ago about the end of the month, beginning of the month, and does a smart meter change that?
So this is an excellent question. Smart meters changes the game in many different ways. So the docket is a grid mod or grid modification. They're trying to modernize the grid modernization. That's what this is under. And by law, by 2028, I believe, all across the state, all the utilities are going to have smart meters. At that point, within 2 days of you opting in or out, you'll be automatically switched because they're going to know every 15 minutes what you've used. So it will make things that much more efficient to opt in and opt out of the program. It will also allow the town, if they wanted to have some what they call TVR or time varying rates. So we could actually show you when your things are most expensive. So right now, the peak period is somewhere, it's really like 5 to 7 during those summer months when it's really hot, everyone comes home, turns on their AC. You could send signals that say, hey, here's the actual price of the electricity during those times to curb usage and drive down some of those, what I'll call marginal units that come on are very dirty. So there's lots of things that smart meters can do that we just don't have the data on today that we're going to be able to do down the road. It's a big step forward. Think of us, we're literally in the Stone Age. Many places across the country have all of this data. With a smart meter, you can tell if your refrigerator is starting to fail, if your let's just say you have an air source heat pump, if it needs to be cleaned and upgrade, those kind of things you can tell by how it's drawing. And with all the data that you have, you can see that. So there's a lot of good things coming with that. I have one piece of bad news. It comes with expense. That's the bad news on that.
Expense, fine, please.
So everyone, these meters, they just don't give them out for free. So everyone's T&D charge, that's a huge capital cost coming our way. Right. Not only on the meters, but to move power from where we need to. That's the big problem that I see coming down the road.
So National Grid or your supplier, Eversource, whoever it is, will charge the customer a fee for installing that mandated meter.
It won't work, you won't see it exactly like that, but you're 100% correct. What they'll do is they'll open a tariff and they'll say, we spent $455 million. We're gonna raise our utility rates until we receive that back.
Right, yeah, like
this-
delivery charges. or something like that.
That's exactly
The
correct.
part
sir.
of the bill that's already the largest part is going to get larger.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it will, but I don't think they won't say, okay, I'm charging you $400 for the meter, and then every month I'm gonna take $10 off and you can see it coming down. I think it would be part of a rate case, if you will.
Right, got it, thank you.
You're welcome.
Susan Harrington, I see your hand up. I didn't know if that was a past question or if you had another one.
Sorry, no question. Forgot to take my hand down.
That's okay, just checking. Does anybody else have a question that they'd like to ask tonight? Okay. Oh, I see one, Marlene Dolan. Go ahead.
Hi, yes, thank you. Marlene Dolan, 19 Crest. My question to you is, it looks like this is a locked-in rate for a period of time. And then at the end of that period of time, do you set a new rate? And is it, whoever change the rate during the period of time?
First off, I want to say thank you for the question. I should have addressed this, and I apologize for that, but thank you for calling me out, Ms. Dolan. I appreciate it. So here's another advantage aggregation. At some point, we're going to come back to the town over the next 35 months. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but let's just say 2 months from now, there's a huge, all of a sudden, there's going to be electricity for free starting in 2029. We would be talking about, hey, listen, we want to buy this futures hedge. The manager may decide to sign off and say, okay, now we'd have a new price. I just want you to know, everyone would be getting a postcard before the end of the program 35 months from now and saying, hey, listen, the new rate is X. I'm going to make it sound great, right? It's 8 cents, and the old rate's 14. Could be, we're not certain where the market's going to be, but this is not third-party supply. We're going to send you a postcard when it changes. There will be a new rate, but we have the full 35 months to figure out what that'll be. I should say only 34 months because we have to give you 30 days notice beforehand. But make no mistake, it will probably be long before, and we'll be watching the market the whole time. You'll receive something in the mail. I know our website will be updated, which will mean that the town's website will also be updated, but everyone would know what that new rate was going to be. No one's trying to hide anything here. This is not, oh, we're going to give you a rate, then the rate's going to escalate. That's just not the way these programs work.
And if you're already enrolled, you're going to be automatically transitioned over to that new supplier. So you won't have to do anything. You'll be informed. You can always opt out if you don't want to continue, but you'll be automatically moved over if you're currently enrolled. On your bill on the supply side, where it now says National Grid Basic Service, if that's what it says, like Mark said earlier, it'll say Dynegy Manchester by the Sea Ag. If the next supplier is Constellation, it'll say Constellation Manchester by the Sea Ag. So the supplier name may change throughout the life of the program, but what you want to look for is that Manchester by the Sea Ag to know you're enrolled with the town's program under the supply side of your bill. That will tell
But
you.
what I understand from this answer is that the rate that you're setting today will not change no matter what happens with the market flux. And we can opt out to get the regular rate, but you all will keep the rate fixed.
Correct. One little caveat, just if there was a change in law, that this price could change, but I'm saying slightly. It's not going to be a big change. It's not a penny change or something of that nature. Normally small, up or down 1/10 of a penny or something like that. But for the most part, yeah, to your statement, yes, this rate is going to stay the same, 14.1 for the 35 months. The town's program will stay there. You get to choose whether you participate or not, or you participate for a period and then not. Completely up to you how you decide to move forward. This is about choice, and it's your choice to make.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question?
Again, Marlene, the way that I would envision it for the town, right now, we sent out information saying that the default option produces $8 a month in savings at this rate compared to basic service National Grid rate. In February, when National Grid's new rate comes out, we're gonna put something out through social media and on the website that says something similar. You know, as of February, National Grid's new rate is X. Our rate is still Y. Here's how it compares. If it's still beneficial, don't do anything, stay in the plan. If for some reason National Grid's rate is cheaper than ours, you might wanna opt out and go back to National Grid. And all you have to do is go to the website, here's how you hit it, and that's all you do. National Grid takes care of the rest as far as your billing goes. And we'll do that in February and August throughout the 35-month period.
Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Any additional hands up? So, thank you everybody for coming tonight and tuning in. Again, all of this information lives on our town website, and you can access it from the homepage. There's 2 buttons that will take you there. And if you have any questions, you can contact Colonial Power Group directly.
Yep, 866-485-5858, extension 1.
And that's also on the website. So thank you for sharing your thoughts and joining us.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.